So today we're going to work on negative space. You guys remember? Do you remember? What's
Yeah.
negative?
The spaces in between, so say with the back of the chair, the black, what looks like a black rectangle, is that a negative space?
The space, yeah, the space that's not the object, right? Which in drawing is as important to get right as the space that is the object, right? Which is the weird thing. We're not used to thinking about the thing that is not the subject, right? When we're talking about something like from our left brain perspective, we're not really used to thinking about things that way. I am, nope, here. But, and I thought it might be easier to see if we did it in black, if we did it with a black and white chair. I've actually got another chair. If we finish this one, we'll do another one that's a black chair against a white background, but I thought we might start with this. So go ahead and take your paper and fold it. This is A4 computer paper, so it's the same size. A4 is that US, printing size. So I'm folding it in half. And I'm folding it in half again. That's twice. And then I'm going to go 2 more times. So I'm ultimately going to fold this 4 times. It's easier than taking a ruler to measure. And when I open it up, the paper is going to be divided into equal rectangles that are all this size. As you can see here, I've got this. And definitely, you'll want to take your pencil and a straight edge. I happen to have a ruler here. You don't need a ruler for this. It could be anything really. Here. It could be just a book or a folder, anything that's straight, right? To redraw the lines that you folded so you can see them. And let's do all of them this time. Sometimes it's a little hard to see the folded lines. So when that happens, I like to actually refold it like that. So I can see really clearly where my folded line is. Do the same thing over here. Okay. We're going to draw them all this time. So all 4 folds we're going to draw, and I'm going to draw them. Oh, don't tell me. No. No. Ah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, but you're frozen.
Yeah.
I'm frozen. Yeah. Give me just a second. Oh, my computer totally went out. All right.
You're unfrozen.
Am I unfrozen now?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Can you see that now? Here, let's try that
Yeah.
again. Whoop. Oh, I spotlighted you guys. Sorry about that. All right, let me. Oh, it did it again. What?
I can see you up the top.
Yeah, it's freezing. I don't know why this is happening. Give me a second.
Where's the
All right. Here we are. There we are. It's going to be that kind of night or morning, ladies and gentlemen, just so that you know. I'm like, oh my God, come on. I'm going to draw.
It's just ladies, no gentlemen.
No gentlemen. All right, ladies. Kind of fun when it's just ladies, isn't it?
Yeah, much better.
Where's our young gentleman today?
He
Yeah.
he for some reason he decided he was
He's
was
checking
opting out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
He's
opted
on
out,
holidays.
really? The draw.
Yeah.
Tell him we missed him.
And Luce is just assisting
What?
and commenting.
Good on her.
Got it.
But then maybe I'm gonna draw.
Yeah, maybe you get a chance to draw. Okay, this is a really great exercise because it kind of gets you understanding the relationship. So can you guys see this fairly clearly? I know I ripped up the top. Just pretend I didn't do that. So, and if this gets really crazy, I might put it upside down. If we're having trouble kind of seeing this. So yeah, we're gonna draw this chair today, as I told you last week, but drawing the dark shapes, we're gonna leave the white shapes and we're gonna draw the dark shapes,
Ooh.
white shapes, right? And so we're gonna use the, so how does this look? Let me get you started. Where's my pencil? Hang on, I'll be right back. I need to get a pencil. So I like to start with the shapes I can really see. Can you, here, I'll draw that. So you can see. You can really see the grid. I can see that this shape up here, for example, starts about here. So I'm going to start with this rectangular shape. There. And then there's another shape here. It's kind of like, starts up here. And it goes down, right? So I'm not ignoring I still have the light shapes. You know, I'm not skipping over the light shapes, but I'm really focusing on looking at the dark shapes. I can even like color that in with my pencil. And I'm doing it square by square. So now I'm kind of coming up here. Up this one comes in. I'm looking at that shape now. So see how so this is the basic approach. I'll send an email of this. I'll send this across the thread so you can see this up close. But I think this one goes like this, and then like that. It goes like this, and then like that. So I'm not trying to do every shape. I'm kind of going square by square, really. And I can do the same thing here. Kind of weird how the chair starts to come out, isn't it?
So is that box in the middle, the first black box that we've done, is that quite large? Like,
It's pretty large.
yeah, I think I've.
You might have made it, you may have made it too large though. It's still, you can almost triple it to get to the top.
It's more the length. So I'll just show you at the very early stages. But if I look at the lines around me,
Mhm. Well, you
I'm-
know what will help you, Pauline, before you go any further, what will help you is you have this shape and this shape. You have this dark shape as well, which should help you kind of position this shape. Right?
Maybe that's
If you
right.
don't put this far enough, you need room for this and then also this shape. If you're having trouble figuring out where to put this, start with this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Right, because I think this one's a little bit easier to see. This is a suggestion from Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, my favorite book. And I think it's a fabulous drawing exercise because it gets you thinking about not so much about the chair itself, but about the space the chair takes up. And what are the spaces that the chair doesn't take up? What's that relationship? I just put my pencil down and I can't find it. Come on.
Yeah, and it's not the same on each side, which
Nope,
is
it's not exactly equal. It's a little, goes a little bit farther on that side. Good observation. Great observation. I'm noticing with what, as I do these slats, that like there's 3 on this side and they get gradually bigger. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, right? Of the line. So those are good things to observe. Really, you'll figure out a lot based on what is next to the thing that you're drawing. If that makes any sense at all.
well, because it's not positioned right in the middle, and so that rectangle we have should be even.
Yeah, but it's not just about the rectangle, right? It's about
Yeah.
this space here that's dark on this side. It's about this space here that's dark on this side, right? That helps you shape things. So if you're having trouble positioning this, start with that.
Mm-hmm.
You could, maybe you should make this bend a bit more.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this. Interesting.
But I think this is too far over. Look.
Because yes, you'll know it's too far over if you don't have room for this white shape and then also this dark shape. So you need room for this and then room for this. I think this idea that we need to leave room for the negative space is a weird one. It's not one that intellectually we're used to thinking about. When we think about the chair, we think about the chair. We don't think about the space around the chair. But when you're creating a visual chair, you've got to think about the space around the chair. It's as important as the chair itself. The space around the chair. And a lot of times when you're having trouble, like Pauline, you're like, I don't know, why do I make this, right? You have to look at the shapes next to the shapes to be able to figure out. It helps to look at the outside shapes sometimes to help figure out where to put the other shapes. I'm gonna make myself just a little tea, ladies. My voice is a little hoarse, so give me just a second. Oh, hello, boy. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice way. I'm working on a painting right now. I'm looking at it, it's right there. Where I'm painting a city bus and a car on a city street late at night. And I'm trying to kind of blur the edge between where the bus stops and where the bus starts and where the road starts. So this idea of edges is a really interesting one when you start getting into it artistically, right? When you start to understand it and you include it in your thinking. I could maybe take a picture of it and send it over to you guys so
Yeah.
you could see.
I'd love to see it.
Very it's very much in the awkward stage right now. It's not in any way done. So I give you a caveat, but I was thinking, maybe you'll see a little bit. Also, there's something wrong with my, oh, there we go. There's something wrong with my camera. Phone camera right now is not really working. It's a very big painting. It's like 4 by 5 feet. Oops, sorry. Knocked that with my shoulder. I'm so sorry here. Here we go. And definitely it's in an awkward stage, but I'm trying to kind of blur the edge between the bus and the street. And I'm doing it very intentionally. So I'm creating a lot of what we call lost edges. And it's interesting. So this idea of edges can be taken in
Oh, wow.
it's
That's
interesting, isn't it?
fabulous.
It's it started to come today. It started to come together. I started to feel a little bit better about it. Before it was messy. It's going to be very bright. Like all those lights are going to be like super hot pink and red and green and yellows and bright all over. It was taken through a rainy windshield. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to capture some of that blurriness, right, of the image. So I'm playing with the edges. I'm playing with the edge of where the subject meets the object. So I'm introducing this to you to tell you this is a little bit about why we think about it. I mean, you need to think about things, but it's really fascinating when you start visually thinking about edges and you start playing around with what's possible. There's a lot, right, that you can do. I shall be right back. Yeah. And then I can come down here. Start playing around with these. I can observe that this shape has a relationship to this shape, right? This space seems to be kind of lined up a little bit. Actually, interestingly, this shape is mostly lined up, but goes out. Yeah, it gets really interesting once you get down here. You will see that the shapes that you've drawn up here will help you line up the shapes that are down here. There's a T1 right there. Hey, buddy. Yeah. I can see that these shapes down here kind of line up a bit with the rectangle I drew above. You see how I can put my finger, not exactly, but a little, but mostly. Sometimes you'll find yourself saying, what is that? And you'll realize really quickly, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'll figure it out later. For now, I'm here just to be really clear about what I just did there. Can you see my first line was way too low? And I really realized that once I added these shapes in, and I could see how little space there was. So I could, I knew to bring up my line a little bit. So that's really terrible. Yeah, it's coming. Cheers actually coming out. Look at that. Notice also how easy it is to get into kind of meditative state around this whole business. This is a slightly more complicated shape, but not really. Oops. I should just leave these smudges here so you can see all my mistakes. I lined this shape up over here instead of here. It needs to line up with this. And it kind of bends a little bit there. See also how it helps to break things up into pieces. This shape here lines up with what's happening up here.
Oh, I think my boxes are too small.
Why is that?
Well,
Are you working with an A4 piece of paper?
yeah,
Your boxes shouldn't be too small. You mean these boxes?
yeah, I mean, in this lower half.
So yeah, you need to have room. So take it square by square, right?
Yeah, but I think it should come down almost halfway down that box, right?
I mean, yeah. Not halfway, less than halfway.
Hmm.
Halfway is really here, this point. Here.
Hmm.
So they should come up higher than halfway.
Okay, maybe it's okay then.
That might be your left brain just trying to boss you. And really knowing what it's doing. I sent you this, right? Should I send this over again? Let me do that again. So that you guys can look at this closer. You can measure. I'm having trouble measuring by looking.
I just got really confused with that leg.
Which leg?
This chair leg on the left, I just kind of switched the black and the white in my. It's,
That's
yeah,
okay. You just, as long as you know you've done it, then you can correct it, right? I'm gonna send a picture of this across so you guys can see it. There. Here it is. If you're having trouble measuring by looking, I'll send this over to you so you can, get your hands on it. There you go. Anyway, that kind of like sort of reversing things, Dominique, it's really normal. That's because the left brain is trying to get in and tell you what's going on, and it's confusing you. Your left brain is like it's like, I know this is what's happening. No, even though it does not know what is happening, it wants to make you think it does. So it's trying to interpret what you're seeing. So that sort of, oh, I got it backwards. That's just you're
You just kick the hole. Kick it.
backseat driving, Liz. There we go.
You think?
I kind of rushed through this. I don't want you guys to rush through it. And I want you to know that the mistakes are part of it, right? There's no way to really do it. Look, I still have mocha on my arm from where I was making, I didn't even take it off. This is mocha. I made
What's mocha?
mocha, this. On
What
my
is
from
Is it
making- No, it's from making drinks at Starbucks.
Ah,
Oh, mocha. Okay.
I
Thought it
was
was some artistic thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, it is an artistic thing in the sense that it's the thing that recently taught me how hard it is to get your hand and your eye to work together. Mocha on my arm, I haven't even got it off yet. Anyway, it's this sort of weird thing where your brain is, where your hands, with drawing, it's not just intellectually understanding what's going on, it's also get and to do that. And that is the hard thing.
A bit like sad or like stressed or something. You can look at the back page. And I'm gonna put it behind your phone so you get to use it. And also like little things you can, if you're a bit bored, you can check things, little things. Okay, Tom?
Kom nu eens een beetje wc-papier halen.
This is an interesting thing that's happening with the chair. Chair is is coming straight towards us, right? So that is what we call foreshortening in the drawing world. And eventually we will discuss the rules of foreshortening, like how it works. But one of the things that you'll see with foreshortening is that the things in the back are, even though these legs are all the same size, when something's coming towards you, the things that are in the front, right, which is this part of the subject, are bigger and they come down lower on the page. These legs, even though they're the exact same size, are smaller and they go up higher. It's a little bit like that road example. You guys remember this? Not to confuse you, but remember that? Right?
mm.
How you show a road going back in space. The exact same thing is happening with this chair. So even though these legs, all four of them are the same size, they don't look the same size on a flat piece of paper. Or even if you're looking at them as a 3D object. But I won't blow your mind up with that idea today. I feel like there's only so much the mind can handle in any one time. We're not going to talk about that too much today, but take it rectangle by rectangle. And shape by shape. And I will be right back. Get ready.
So.
And some subways are saying it's
How's it going?
I'm sending you mine.
Okay. Thank you, by the way. It's coming along. It's coming-
I like it like that,
well,
Mm.
the way it is.
it is starting to do what I wanted to do. Can you see how loose the edges are?
Yeah.
How it's kind of hard to tell the difference.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, very nice, Dominique. There you go. However,
Mhm.
this leg needs to come way further down.
Yeah.
Yep. However, everything else looks pretty good.
I feel like the back legs are too fat.
Yep. So thin them out and thicken these and bring it down.
Which bits should I thicken and which?
Well, you need to make this white,
Both.
right?
Yeah.
Just trim it up a little bit on either side. But look at the shape that's next to it to really, get your answer to that question. Nice. Actually, it's not bad at all. If I put this chair in front of you and asked you guys to draw it just as it is, just as a chair, this would be an almost impossible exercise.
Yeah.
And so notice a couple of things that are happening. One, right, that the legs get smaller and they rise up off the page as we go further back, even though we know this chair is sitting on the ground, it's sitting on the flat ground, but it doesn't look like it. That's because we have cone vision. As things go away from us, they rise up, they appear to rise up and get smaller and narrower, just like that road. But I'm not going to talk about that because you are too new to have that concept put down your throat too much. I don't want, so if it doesn't make sense, don't worry about it. But really focus on how much longer these are than this one, than these. And yeah. Notice how short this is the chair. This is the part of the chair you sit on. Notice how short that is.
Yeah.
So do you remember the word I suggested? This is what we call foreshortening.
Yeah.
So listen with them as it comes forward towards you, it shortens. Foreshortening. That is a technique. It's an actual term that happens as you're conveying something that's coming towards you. Right. So if I just put this chair in front of you, all of you would have tried to draw, both of you would have tried to draw the chair too long. That's the idea. So this is an easier way of kind of handling what space the chair is actually taking up. And if you're totally lost, that's also valid. So don't worry about it. Pauline, how's it going for you?
Terribly.
Are you lost?
Yeah, totally.
Why don't you send it over and maybe I can help you. Well, what are you talking about? It's much better than you think it is.
I can't see a chair in it. That's the problem. So
Well, okay. So number one, you put this down here.
say that. So
The chair comes up beyond the first rectangle. You stopped it here.
okay,
See?
yeah. Oh God, yeah, huge amount.
So fix that. You'll feel much better about it.
Did not take a life from me.
So notice, Pauline, how much you, I've noticed this. Notice how much you respond to edges as if they are the edge of a thing, right? This is an edge. Remember when you were drawing on your lined paper, you did the same thing. You kind of stopped things where you saw lines as the edge. In this case, the lines aren't necessarily an edge. They are, I mean, they're an edge, but there might be something above the edge and below the edge, right? That's what.
Strange. Yeah, I started out like on the first rectangle piece, and
Yeah.
it's as if from there then
You stop looking and you start.
without even realizing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I go to
So
there.
fix that. Once you go here, and if you're having trouble making this shape, start with this one. This is a pretty easy shape to see, right? That's a pretty easy shape to see. Oh, you can't see that at all from here. Hold on.
I can. Yeah.
See that? That's an easy shape to see. So is this one. Start with those shapes. So you know where.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Yeah. I'm happy to do this like in my own time rather than hold up the class and start again.
Don't worry, it's not about holding up the class. This is the whole point. Everybody's learning.
Don't
Bye.
worry, I've found loads of problems with mine as well.
Yeah. Everybody. So the question is, can you fix it?
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So-
quite difficult because there's so many shapes that, like when you move one shape over, then it's going to impact you have to fix all the other.
Yes. Right? Because this shape is as important as this shape, this shape, this shape. They're all important. They're all equally important. And you don't really get where you're off or where you're on until you start to lay them in. And I've tried to show you that I make those mistakes too. I'm trying to show you that, right? Remember when I showed you up here? The problem is I'm so used to making those mistakes. That is so part of the process of painting and drawing that it's not even really a mistake anymore, right? Like they just get fixed. You lay it down, then you judge it, and then you're like, oh, okay, nope, that needs to go up a little higher or a little bit lower. It's absolutely part of the process. So making a mistake is like, I've been doing this 20 years. I'm still making so many mistakes. And that's why I don't do any of these assignments before I do them with you guys. I never test an assignment. Well, that's not entirely true. There are a couple of beginning lessons that I've done many times, but the vast majority of the time, I will not do a lesson before I do it with my class because I want you to watch me make those mistakes. I want you to see that I make them too. So it's okay. It's just like recovering. You know, like when a cat jumps down, tries to jump off a table and it like falls on the floor really awkwardly. And the cat doesn't sit there and get all upset. The cat's just like, I didn't, jumps up and licks its paw. And it's like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. We have a house full of cats here. We have 3. So we're watching them do that shit all the time. life is one big happy mistake for them. They're always making mistakes. Here, just because I'm finished with my chair right now, I'll take a picture of the one that's kind of the outdoor cat. He stays in the studio, which is in the garage. He's so cute. He loves it when I come out here and teach you guys, because that means I'm out late. He's sleeping in his little basket.
How did, any tips on like all of those, the back parts of the chair are different sizes, widths at the top?
Here, you mean?
Yeah.
Just
How
get
did you,
skinnier. They just get slightly bigger.
they're
I
bigger at the top, yeah,
look
see?
at the relationship. I mean, the ones on the edges are the skinniest, and then they just get bigger as they get closer to the surface. What I do is I look at the relationship of where the outside ones are. So I can see that this one lines up here,
Okay.
and I can see that this one lines up here, right? Just a little bit to the left of the grid line. So that helps me locate the remaining one that's in the middle. I think what you'll find after a while is that always as a drawer, it helps to find the outside edges of a thing. Look for the things you can see. Like here, this is easier to see than placing this. This shape, the shape next to, right? The chair is easier to see than the shape of the chair itself. So that's that, you'll see that applies to a lot of different things when you're drawing. Sometimes you're like, I'm not quite exactly sure. Oh, wait, I can see what the shape is next to what I'm trying to draw, and I can draw that shape, and that will help me start. I just sent you a picture of my cat Bazoo napping, by the way, if you want to break from your chair. He's pretty cute. Aren't you, buddy?
No, Siamese, is it?
Yeah, I have 3 that look all the same, and they all came from different places.
Wow.
Yeah. My friends say I have a type, but he just showed up outside our front door one day.
Somebody sent him. It was a message from someone.
It was a message from someone.
Yeah.
Who is, what is it, Pauline? What's the message? Tell
Well,
me.
it's a spirit from above. Somebody sending him.
Somebody send him. I believe you're right. He's fabulous. He really has provided. We have a 14-year-old cat and a 2-year-old cat, indoor, outdoor, and they haven't really gotten along very well. But he is also, Bazoo is also a kind of younger cat. So he plays with the young boy now,
Yeah.
Hermes. And so he takes the pressure off the older cat, you know? He provides balance. He's very cute. I mean, he stays outside all night, but he's
Right.
So it's the year of the cat in Vietnam.
Is
Oh,
it?
that's right. Yeah.
It's not the year of the rabbit?
So
I'm
it's
from
the year
Vietnam.
of the rabbit in China, and
Right.
this is the only time the zodiac differs between
Really?
the. Yeah, it's so weird. For some
What is
reason, it's a
it?
cat instead of a rabbit in Vietnam, but everything else is this. Every other year is the same.
Interesting. You hear that, buddy? Yeah, it's the year of the cat. He's like, every year is the year of the cat.
Is it exciting in Singapore just this weekend with the new year coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really sort of explored what there's going on, but we're gonna have a family, a sort of a dinner this evening with some of the local kind of specialty food. And then in China, it's actually quite, it's more kind of low key, like you just gather around the dinner table and you eat quite kind of homemade sort of stuff. And here it's, you know, Singapore is more splashy and commercial, so of course
Yeah.
it's
It's flat
um,
here.
yeah. So I mean, I actually don't even quite understand what this thing we're gonna eat is, but apparently it involves throwing stuff around, and I don't know.
Sounds lovely.
It'd
Yeah.
be fun. Is there a special meat that everybody buys too? Sliced meat?
Not that I know of.
It might be another. So I just remember watching it sitting in a hotel room once in Singapore, and it was some special holiday where everybody buys this meat and they sell out of it really quickly, like a salami type
Right.
color, but they slice large slices of it and everybody eats it.
Hmm.
It could be one of the other holidays, the many holidays you get in Asia.
Yeah.
I love it. We drew rabbits when nobody else was around, right?
Yeah.
You there? You were here for that one. Or
Yeah.
maybe one that Pauline met. Pauline, were you here when we did the rabbits?
No, I don't think so. I only missed one when I went to Melbourne one weekend.
Yeah, I think it was when you went to Melbourne. It was really geared for the kids. We did-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I'll be my last class with you will be the last weekend in whenever that is in March.
What?
I'm going overseas for 3 months.
You can still take,
Wow.
where are you going?
I'm flying to Djibouti in East Africa and boarding a sailing boat and sailing to Greece through the Suez Canal, the Red Sea
Wow.
Suez Canal.
For 3 months?
Well, I'll be 49 days on board. Let me show you what I'm sailing on. And then I'm flying home to Ireland and then to New York.
What is
Wow.
the occasion? Is it just a
Right.
opportunity?
Are you gonna write a story about it?
Well, I used to write lifestyle years ago. I don't know. I haven't even pitched anything. I'll just show you the boat. I can share this page.
So are you taking like a holiday, basically?
Yes, yeah. I'm taking in Australia, if you work for a company for 10 years in any company, you get 8 weeks long. It's called long service. And so
God.
and
So this
because-
is your long service holiday, your kind of big splash out.
yeah, and it goes back to the days when people had to sail home to England, which was mostly so to entice people to work for them, they would give you long service. And now it's a standard, all employers have to do it anywhere in Australia. And so this is my second bout of long service. I took 5 months off in 2013. I used 4 months and an annual month leave, and then I did the same. I'm doing 2 months plus an annual.
Yeah.
So I'll be sailing on this. I'm a paid crew. I'm paying to be a crew member. And
Wow, that's really fun.
Pauline, that's the coolest fucking thing I've seen.
I've sailed on her twice before in up the west coast of Tasmania into an
Oh
incredible
my
place.
God, it's a boat like that.
It's
Yeah,
a concept.
She's a
It's
Danish ketch, and the owners are friends of mine, and they started out sailing her. The wife is Danish, the husband is Australian. He's a shipwright, and both are sea captains. And when their children were very small, probably your kid's age, Dominic, they sailed around the world from Denmark down to Australia, thinking they'd stay just a few years. And they ended up staying 12. Then COVID broke out, and they were
Sailed
planning
off.
to go back and to finish the circumnavigation. They couldn't. So they set out finally in June. And I went for the leaving party down in Tasmania. And I got an invite to join the crew. And like, where, as I say,
God,
you pay.
that's so cool.
It's a once in a lifetime
It
opportunity.
is a once in a, you're absolutely right. There, you must take it. All right. So you have an excuse to miss classes for 3 months.
Thank you. That was I was thinking that's a good excuse, isn't it?
That's a good
You don't
excuse.
get that one too
And
often.
it's gonna be hard for you to, I think, probably get enough internet to be on the boat. I'll send you the schedule. So if you happen to be in New York or you happen to be
Oh,
in
yeah.
Ireland and you want to pop into class, there
Oh,
are,
good one. Yeah.
you can totally pop into classes. There are a lot of New York-based time classes, and there's a lot if you're up for it.
Yeah,
It would be like way too much, but I'll send you the schedule so you can kind of keep track.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh my God. But otherwise, just come back when you're done with your long service. Oh my God. That's amazing. How
Yeah.
amazing.
My last long service, I spent 10 days in a meditation center west of Mandalay, learning
Wow.
to meditate. And I did travel lots of places, but I used mine wisely. That's the point. I didn't just take time off, or a lot of people sort of haven't taken it for years, whereas I've saved mine for the right occasions.
Right. That's
Such a
amazing.
such a nice thing to have.
I
Wow.
know. Yeah. And
I
some
could-
like,
I could do so many things with that.
and that's what amazes me, that people don't, they'll say, oh, I
Yeah.
still have, or they get paid out on it. And I think, yeah, once, you had an opportunity to do this
Yeah.
and get paid. Back home in Ireland, people would say, because I was just going to mainland Europe quite a bit and coming back, and my dad loved it. He used to say, I'm getting Interpol to find her because I don't know where she's gone again. And but the neighbors would say, they just couldn't get their head around that I was being paid to just flit
Yeah.
around the world.
And that they keep your job for you. I mean, that's such a great
know.
Really
opportunity.
cool.
This one. Some of the things.
Oops.
That's okay.
Oh God. 3, 4, 5, 6.
But that is really fantastic, Pauline, and good on you.
Thank you. Dom, I did write, I traveled through China years ago and over the Karakoram Mountains into Pakistan and down the northwest frontier and all those places. But I definitely have postcards from like different places in the world on there. And, yeah, you've put an idea in my head now. I should check it.
You're a citizen of the world. That's just the truth of it, isn't it?
Oh, look. Yeah, very lucky. That's the key thing.
But it's your sensibility.
Yeah, just grateful for the opportunities and you have to have like the health and the finance to do it
Health
too.
is
So
good, right? To be able to do all that, and freedom, the freedom to be
Yeah.
able to do it, not have the responsibilities. How is it
Mhm.
going, by the way, ladies?
I'm going to take a photo again because I need more guidance.
Okay. Dominique, how are you? Are you ready to start a new one? She's like, I don't know. You're
I
on.
mean, I think I'm just There's
Great.
just seems to be ongoing things to fix. But
Yes. So I'm gonna give you a new one. I ripped every single one of these. Here, hold on. I keep ripping these. I'm gonna stop that. All right, so we're gonna try a new one for you. And then Pauline, I'll help you with yours. Let me get. Oh yeah, you're in great shape. So this is dark, right?
Oh, yes, I didn't fix
So
this.
look at this shape, Pauline, here. It kind of extends. I'll draw it in yellow so you can see it, right? It comes here, it comes down, it goes over. This is all dark. You keep wanting to bring this, it's funny, you keep wanting to end this here. That's the problem that you're having.
It was the last part. I didn't fix
Yeah.
that from
You
when I
didn't-
extended it. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So same here. Darken this whole area and this whole area. That's gonna take you far. And then you want to bring your legs down here. You're gonna do, you made the same mistake Dominique made, right? Which is to bring your legs down further. Here in the front. The ones in the back are good, but these ones are, need to come further down. They're more than halfway. Here's the halfway point. No. They're like here. They're at least halfway. Now, maybe yours is actually, you know what? Never mind. You're good.
Oh,
I'm the
just-
one that's wrong.
So I need.
So how does that feel? I'm the one that's wrong here. I'm gonna bring it up. Because I did the same thing I told you that you were doing. Which is, I forgot that this goes all the way down here. So
What's
now-
that saying? Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Those who cannot do, teach. There you go.
What was your one?
Those who cannot do, teach.
Oh. Okay, so there's still.
All right. So Dominique, I'm gonna give you another one. Go ahead and fold another sheet of paper. I'm going to give you, here we go. I'm folding this course for you 4 times. You can fold your paper 4 times. There you go. Open it up, and here is your new chair. So now you're going to actually color in the chair. I hope that is not too confusing. You're going to color in the chair, right, and create, and you, but you can still use these shapes.
Can I use the knife to cut this because we can have scissors?
yeah.
I'm going to put this new one up. And here are the lines. Straight edge. There's line 1. I'll go over these with white too. Whoops. That looks terrible. Here. Do this with orange. Look at the orange lines. There we go. Those are easier to see. So once again, it's kind of the same. So this time the chair's turned on its right a little bit to the side. So you're going to be looking at things like that shape and this shape. This shape. And that shape. Pauline, let's take a look. I helped you, right? You're working, you're fixing.
Well, I'm stuck around where the middle, I suppose. I've reduced the size of some things. I'll just show you. It's an improvement, but it's still, there's something wrong in the middle.
Well, the biggest issue that I see is that you still have the chair kind of floating away from the dark. Oh, that's much better.
What's wrong with the sort of the middle where the seat part is, I suppose? Yeah.
Nothing. Nothing's wrong. I would erase all the extra lines that you have in the middle, but actually literally nothing's wrong. Oh, let's see. This lines up. You have this slight, you'll see this lines up with these two.
Yeah.
You have it slightly higher.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I had it and then I took it down. If you look,
Yep.
you see where I rubbed it out. So go back and put them back in.
Okay, just put it back
They-
in. Just put it back in.
Yeah, they were aligned for
It's
sure.
the dark everywhere, Pauline, because that I think that, but mostly this is pretty right.
Mm.
Oh, there's one other thing. And that is that if I were to draw a line, here, I'll show you. The points here, here, and here, they line up with here. No, that's not true. There's time, they're mostly lined up. They're just a teensy bit higher. These points are just a teensy bit higher than these, but they don't
Okay.
go lower, right? But you got it, Pauline, really.
Yeah. I'll give the other one a shot now.
Yeah, give the other one a shot. Do it. You guys did it. I mean, honestly, you're doing great. We've got like 20 minutes left. Let's do it. It's amazing. It strangely gets kind of easier, doesn't it? I won't exactly say it gets easy because it requires
I
a
mean-
lot of concentration, but it is easier than trying to draw. Trust me, it's easier than drawing the silhouette of the chair where you're focusing on these spaces. The negative space is much easier than trying to just draw the chair. You'll be very confused by what's happening here, right? The legs here, notice, are doing that same thing. We know these legs are sitting straight on the ground. It's not like the chair is going up, but it looks like it's going up. So yeah, this is a key space. This is a key shape. Right? That's a key shape. So is this one. I'll draw them in so you can really see them. Well, Pauline, we'll miss you, but I'm glad we
Oh,
have a couple months before we lose you.
yeah, it was just a heads up, just so
Right.
that
We appreciate that.
tell you the week beforehand or something.
Yeah. Also, what a great, cool thing to be doing. We should be talking about it all the time.
Yeah.
Exciting. I have one more I can give you for a homework assignment. If you want it, I can give it to you after. I'll just put it in after class if you feel like it. You're the cat, buddy, in Vietnam. Yeah, yum. So, do you guys have pets? Do you have a pet, Pauline, or do you visit with your neighbor's pets? Remember there's birds outside your window all the time.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I should adapt them is actually mine. No, I don't. I live in an apartment, so there are a couple of people here who have little dogs, but no, I love an animal, but I don't think it's fair. And I'm at work all the time. Even
Right.
now, yeah, I go into the office 4 days a week.
Yeah. We're kind of the same. We live in quite a, Luce is going to tell you.
Tell us, Luce.
We also don't have a pet because she doesn't let us have one. When I made in Sammy's
You
They're
want
dying to have a pet.
Yeah.
what do you want? What kind of pet do you want?
dog.
What? Say louder.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think anything, a cat or a dog, or I think even a rabbit you'd like,
Oh, a rabbit. Rabbits are great.
wouldn't you? Or anything cuddly.
It's a great company.
Sammy wants a snake or a hawk.
Oh, wow.
I like.
Wow.
So I said,
Great. Actually,
I
snakes.
want one like that.
no way snakes. No way. I think a hawk, that would be very cruel, but anyway.
When I spent 5 years living in Eastern Europe, and 2 of those were in Yerevan, Armenia. And so I really wasn't in a position to like adopt a cat, but the 14-year-old cat that I have, I totally adopted in Armenia. I walked in to a friend of mine's house, and there she was as a small kitten sitting in like their house. And I was like, who is that? And she said, that's Muka. You want to take her? And like literally Muka and I just looked at each other, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I took her, I put her in a pillowcase and took her home in a taxi. And she walked into my apartment like she lived there her whole life. And she came with me everywhere. I moved to Croatia after that, and she came with me there. And then I moved to Brooklyn for a year, and she came with me there. And then I moved to Portland. And that was when she kind of told me she did not want to move anymore. We were getting on the plane to go from New York to Portland, and she's in a little carrying case that I would take with me. I wouldn't put her underneath. I would always take her with me,
Yeah.
on the plane. And so anyway, she pooped in her little tiny carrying case right before I had to take her out for security.
That was it.
This poop covered cat out, clutch it to my chest. One-handed, run her to the bathroom where I washed her off one-handed while I'm holding her, carry her out, put her back inside. And that was basically her going, yeah, don't do that. I don't want to do that again. Not doing this again. And now whenever we even go a very short distance in the car, which is rare, she poops. Like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I feel like a bit like that about traveling myself now.
Yeah, right. Totally.
We've got out of the habit. I
Yeah.
think since COVID, like it really, yeah, it took me longer to get over jet lag this time. I was thinking I'm used to this trip. But being out
Right.
of
It's not like you
practice-
haven't done that trip before.
Yeah.
Oh, this chair is quite hard, I have to say,
Harder.
to get, because it's at an angle.
Yeah, it's at an angle. That's true. So really look at the shapes that you can see clearly, right? Like this one is not so hard right here. And maybe this one down here is almost like a triangle. So break them into pieces. Don't feel like you have to get this whole thing. This is where the grid will serve you well. Get this part. This part is a little bit easier than getting this whole thing. This part is probably a little bit easier. This part, because it bounds the grid, right? In so many places, the bottom and the side. It's easier to get that one. So get the ones, do this shape first. Right? Then do this shape. You don't have to do, just because it's one big shape doesn't mean you can't break it down into pieces that you can see. So the grid is really helpful for that. Here's another one. Watch this. You can draw this triangle to get this line. You draw this triangle and that creates this line, which is the bottom part of these two legs. And it's here too. There's a triangle there. Get the triangle first.
My feet is a big.
This chair really got there, Pauline. I'm proud of you. You got it. You fixed it. It's not really about getting it right the first time. You guys, like I said, you probably watch me make 200 mistakes every lesson. I'm just so used to making the mistakes that they're gone before you even see them. One day this will be that way for you too. It's not that you're going to not make mistakes. It's that you're going to make them and then correct them so quickly. The only people, it's very rare that I meet somebody who cannot draw, but the people who struggle with drawing the most and painting are the ones who want to get it right the very first time they touch the paper, the canvas. And that is like the kiss of death. If you are not willing to make mistakes, you'll never get anywhere, right? You have to like lay things down. And I mean, I have a student, God, he's so lovely. I miss him. He was in his 80s and a really good carpenter. Like he could build anything. But when it came to drawing, he really struggled. And I would tell him, draw this shape, as you see it. And he would come up with these crazy calculations that did not work at all. That were not successful, right? Like to try and figure out what the shape of this space was and how that worked, you know what I mean? Instead of, I'm like, just lay it down and see, but that was very hard for him. He could not really do that.
Ja, maar je kan niet. Dat kan, maar niet de stemming. Spouse, je hebt 2 spousen. Wie dan nu ook.
Better.
The weird thing is, you think this thinking the chair was at a sharper angle, everything was at a sharper angle, and it's actually not that.
Yeah, it's not
It
that
kind of curves over the top. It's sort of like,
slightly more, less than you think. And look at how much that suggests angle, right? So yes, you've learned something really important about drawing, which is that like things are not as, it's easy to exaggerate the size of things, the angle of things.
Oeh.
I think it's easiest to see this shape,
yeah,
that this shape really helps. with
yeah. So that I realized that the top one that I've drawn is far too angular, like at a
Right. It needs to, right, because these are all 1, 2,
Yeah.
these are kind of parallel lines, really. Yeah.
Dat kun je zo nog opleggen. Dit is Vida. Dit meisje, moet je kijken. Hier is het. Nee, dat ga je kijken. Maar
Omdat zij was
niet van deze stil. Niet van deze stil. Dit is Vida. Dit is Vida. Dus dit meisje is de papa. De mama van mij. Haar oude broer is een van de jongens.
Oh, echt?
Hazel. Ja. Even deze jongens, even deze broers. Papa. No.
By the way, Dominique, you read the information I gave you about where your kids are,
Yeah,
States. So Sammy is there too, right? Do you remember what it
Yeah.
says about 8-year-olds? It says they sometimes can focus and they sometimes can't.
yeah,
So it's very normal. Like that sometimes, like I know he's very obsessive about draw. I know he's quite
I'll
focused.
show you. I'll
Right.
show you what's in his sketchbook.
You draw that iguana beastie thing.
Oh, wow. Look at his lizard. Oh, his animals.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna pop that up.
Is that a tiger?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at
Oh
that.
my
The
God, he's good,
lizard.
isn't he?
Man,
Shark lizard.
these are trippy and they're
Yeah.
good. Yep. How inventive.
Yeah,
This is great.
he's got attention to detail, hasn't he? In this.
Yeah. Oh, my word. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Look at the bird over.
Hey, the
Right.
bird looks a little bit like
Yeah.
one of the birds in our drawing session.
Yeah.
My
Oh,
God.
wow. Yeah, he's got a lot going. He's got a lot of attention. He's got a lot of absorption.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
look at those.
yeah, that's great.
So
Is that
that's
handwriting too?
yeah.
Very good for an 8-year-old.
Mhm.
He's very, into the
Beast.
fantasy stuff.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty normal.
So that's obviously all like out of his head, and
Right.
so drawing with us is quite a different way of
Of deal. Yes. The ability to be able to, so he's got skill because he's practicing a lot.
yeah,
Like the ability to be able to focus on, right, like yes, on the task of realistic drawing. Sometimes he'll be able to do it and sometimes he will not want,
sometimes just doesn't really feel like it's just not that inspiring.
doesn't want to do that. Yeah, he doesn't want to do it. Later he will. Wait till he gets to be about 12. When he's 12, he will be, if he's still doing this, he will want
Yeah,
all of this because he'll realize the things he doesn't know how to do, right? Like this. How do you deal with foreshortening?
yeah,
With something at an angle? How do you deal with leg, you know what I mean? Showing legs that are going back in space. It's like there's a lot of stuff there. We will work on this for like another 5 minutes, ladies, and then we'll see where you're at. I'll send a picture over so you have it too.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps drawing.
Oh, there's no question in my mind he will.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
But apparently my husband said that he used to draw a lot at Sammy's age, and then he discovered sport, and then he discovered music, and then once he discovered music, that was the end of the art.
I doubt it. I think Sammy's gonna draw for life. He really strikes me as a drawer.
Yeah. I
For
hope so.
life. I'm sorry, he's good, and
Yeah.
and more importantly, he spends hours and hours at it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the real thing. I just find it hard to, but and not all kids are like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always been very focused,
Yes,
able to focus for a long time, which
yeah. Which is unusual in kids.
yeah, at that age, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Thank you for showing us his sketchbook. That is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 more minutes and let's see where you get.
People, they go back. She go back. No, yeah. We probably can't over all day.
Okay, Mark, we need to ears. Mark, we need to ears tight with the okay, favorite food.
Naughtiest thing. Best thing. Things you're most proud of. Most proud of.
But the school is gonna make sitting with the school. Oh, no.
Why don't you take the page and ask them when you come home?
Oh, I did this. Oh, your pets.
Two more minutes. This is an interesting lesson, isn't it?
Mm,
What does it show you? So one of the things you're seeing is that it helps you kind of correct ideas you have about how high something is, how angled it is, right? That's part of it. What would you say is the sort of takeaway from this lesson?
perspective, yeah.
Yeah, when things are at an angle, you have to be pretty careful because mine looks totally wrong.
What do you think about this idea of using negative?
That light. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Let's see where you're at. I'm gonna pull this down. Hold them up.
Okay.
Just hold them up. Oh, yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there. So Pauline, in a couple of places, you're going, when you should be going down. Here, on this one, you'll see you're going the wrong direction. You're actually going up instead of down.
I
This-
can't see where you're pointing. Okay,
Look at that shape
I'm
You're-
going,
reversed. You're up and going down. As opposed to going down and coming up.
okay.
But
Okay,
in general,
Where did you live? Where did you live?
how do there we go. All right, hold them up again, just so we can see kind of where they're at. Yeah. Yeah. They're coming. They are coming. They are coming, ladies. Coming along in pieces, you're getting them. So that's the takeaway, that using the negative space can help you shape, right? The negative space is important. We're not used to thinking about the space between an object as being important. But in drawing, it's as important. And sometimes it's easier to draw the negative space. For example, here, I'll show you. This will be my last thing of the night. I put my hand on my hip like this, and you're trying to draw it. Placing my arm out here is really hard, but getting this shape is a lot easier.
Mm.
So not only do you have my arm, but you have my arm. So you get this line of the arm, then it's easier to get this line. Right?
Yeah.
It's useful for a lot of things. Negative space. Looking at the thing that's next to what you're trying to draw. That's so interesting. Great
Yeah.
work.
thank you, Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next week, we'll just keep on going. So I haven't decided exactly what we're gonna do yet, but I'll figure it out. before
About a
the
week. Yeah.
week. Great work, you two. Nice to have the two of you together. And Dominique, nice to give you a chance to actually do this and not have to, manage so much. Like
That was the
other
least
expectations,
distractions I've had since I ever started this.
right? It's fabulous, though. You're getting there. You're getting it. All right. Lovely to see you.
Have a
Pauline,
nice night.
excited for you.
Happy
Have a
New
nice
Year.
evening.
Thinking about your
See ya.
upcoming trip. It sounds so
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.